Torah guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah nation.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Yashar'El and Yahudah, grafted in Gentiles into the body of Hamashiach. Listen, we the people of the book broadcast is going down. Mandated to give Yaakov and Yahudah a wake-up call. To let them know that they need to receive the witness of Yahusha Hamashiach. Receive the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh to be established in the kingdom of Yahuah. Listen to none other than Hezekiah. Song is entitled Never Knew Yah. I don't want to write this music. Loving Yahuah. Yahuah, I give you praise for the Boast and the Torah of truth right now in the name of Yahusha. Take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign. Yahuah, speak through me. Cause me not to cause anyone to stumble, anyone to be turned out of the way, anyone to come up lame. Yahuah, we do this for you. We're in the witness for you. We're here to declare your word. Yahuah, let the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua Hamashiach, I pray. Yes. Hallelujah. Listen, we bring greetings and praise to the body of the Mishpokah in the name of Yahushua Hamashiach. Listen, we true to this witness. We true to this witness. We true to this witness. We're on assignment. We have a mandate to wake up Yaakov. We have a mandate to wake up Yahudah. We are straightened in this thing. We are straightened in this thing. We have to declare Yahuwah's Boast and his Torah truth. We don't have an option. Right? Well, we can't take a break. We can't take a break. We got to declare the word. Listen, I give Yahuwah honor and praise for his Boast and his Torah truth. I thank Yahuwah for giving me his witness. I give him praise for choosing me in the name of Yahushua Hamashiach. I give him praise for all that he is. I give him praise because I know in my heart that Yahuwah has not casted away his people. Yeah, he has a remnant. Yeah, everybody in Yashar'El ain't Yashar'El. But at the end of the day, Yahuwah has a people, and he loves his people. He has given Yaakov his Shabbat, and Yaakov is to honor his Shabbat. And listen, I give Yahuwah praise for his Shabbat. I give Yahuwah praise for his word. I give Yahuwah praise for his Torah of truth. I give Yahuwah praise for Yahusha Hamashiach, the Basora made flesh. I give him praise. Listen, we in Romans, right? We going back into Romans. We're going to be in Romans until we complete Romans. But we left off at the beginning of the 11th chapter. We're in the 11th chapter of Romans now. And you know, Paul in Rome, in the letter to the assemblies at Rome, he's addressing Hebrews and he's addressing Gentiles. And he's expressed the need, the necessity of us who have received his witness to continue in it, who have received the Ruach HaKodesh to continue in it, and to allow the Ruach HaKodesh to be the reason that we move and have our being. The Ruach HaKodesh to lead us and to guide us into our truth. So we in Romans, right? And we're going to go ahead and go right in because, you know, we ain't wasting time. We ain't wasting time. Listen. Paul's letter to Rome, to the church at Rome, the 11th chapter, he says, I say then, right? Hath Elohiym cast away Yisrael? Has Yahuwah gotten away? He's cast away his people. Has Yahuwah cast away his people? Elohiym forbid. For I am an Israelite, of the seed of Avraham of the tribe of Benjamin. Shaul's testimony. My testimony. Have Yahuah casted away the 12 tribes? Has Yahuah casted away his people, Yashar'El? Because we've been led to believe that the tribes are no longer in existence. Right? We're led to believe that Yahuah don't have a people like that no more. We've been led to believe that we were Hamites. And again, largely due to our failure, our ancestors' failure to keep Yahuah's Torah. And because they failed miserably, right, they went into bondage and captivity until the lands which we were scattered under the Elohims and the people who served the gods of those lands. We were a people robbed and spoiled. We were a people that no man would buy. But Yahuah, who was rich in mercy, wherein he loved us. And while we were yet sinners without hope in the earth, he sent his son, Yahushua HaMashiach, to be the propitiation, the mediator between us and him, to reconcile us to Yahuah. Yahuah had a plan. We were led to believe that Yashar'El was no more. Yahudah was no more. But I'm here to tell you, I, Yaakov, Yahudah Gaal, am of the seed of Avraham. I'm of the seed of Avraham of the tribe of Yahudah. Somebody say, how do you know that? Well, in my research, and the research of others, and in my DNA and my coldly diapholic, anyway, it's that cranial thing. I don't even think I pronounced it right. The evidence is surmounting. I am of the nation of Yahudah. I know that Yahudah went into captivity last to the Americas, whose ancestors were in Spain and Portugal, who were then sent to the west coast of Africa, right? And then they were taken out of Africa in slave ships and sent to the lands of the Americas. Hebrews. I'm a Hebrew of the tribe of Yahudah. Has Yahuah casted me away? No. I've received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. I had emunah in his word. I've received the Ruach HaKodesh, the water and the blood. I have been sealed with the Ruach HaKodesh of promise. Yahuah has not casted away his people. Right? Elohiym have not cast away his people. He foreknew me. He foreknew his people. He refused to cast us away. He had a covenant, a promise that was made to our fathers. Yahuah has not casted away his people, which he foreknew. What does that Greek word foreknew mean? What does it allude to? Right, Greek word.
Strong's G, 4267, prognosko.
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 It means to have knowledge beforehand. Yahuah had knowledge beforehand of me, Yaakov, Yahudah. He had a knowledge of me. He predestined me, predetermined that in the fullness of time, he would reveal his purpose in me. I would receive his witness in emulation. He would allow tribulations to work patience, and he would allow patience to work experience, and experience would establish me in this hope, this emulation, this secureness of the word of you. He foreknew me. He elected me to be a recipient of this Yeshua. It had nothing to do with me. I could not work this out. I could not select myself. It was his doing. Right? Yahuah's doing. Right? Would ye not what the scripture saith of Elias? How he maketh intercession to Elohiym against Yashar'El? Someone's interceding for me. Someone interceded for me. I intercede for somebody else because this witness is necessary. The intercession that births forth the chosen, the elect, is necessary. We are the byproduct of Yahuah's election. It's necessary, right? Adonai, they have killed thy prophets and dug down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. Now we're talking the Yahudim, seeking the Yahudim, right? Not all Yashar'El is Yisrael, and not all bend the knee to Baal, not all bend the knee to America, to Britain, to France, to Belgium, to Greece. Not all bend the knee to Rome, and Catholicism, and Christianity, and Egyptology, and devil worship. Not all of them bend the knee. Not all of them pursue knowledge from familiar spirits, Ruach or ancestors. Not all of them. Yahuah has a people. Yahuah has a remnant. Yahuah has those that he has elected, selected, chosen. Righteousness from an everlasting plan of righteousness. Yahuah, a people, right? They've killed the prophets. They killed Yahushua HaMashiach. Peter killed the witnesses. Shaul. They have digged down their altars. Kadar! Cut it out, Golden now! Now! Killed the prophets. Destroyed the place of worship. They were seeking the life of Elias to kill him. But what did this saith the answer of Yahuah unto him? I have reserved. Yahuah has a reserve. Yahuah has a reserve. He has something that he has set aside. He has a people that he has set aside. He has a remnant that's set aside. He has a group that's set aside. He's reserved for himself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to Baal. Isaiah quoted this as Yahuah had instructed him. As Isaiah was looking around, he was like, you and all these wicked people. I'm the only one left. Yahuah, I'm declaring your witness. I'm telling your people they must receive the Ruach HaKodesh. Yahuah, maybe I need to take a break. You will see, you don't take no break. We take a break. He said, I didn't tell you to take a break. See, because I got people that need to hear this Basora. I got the people that need to hear this story. It doesn't matter how much you tell it, they continually need to hear it because faith comes. They got to have that word. They got to have that word. They got to have that Basora, that Torah. Right? And I got them. He said, I got thousands of them. Right? I got 144,000 from every tribe. I got an elect number. Got an elect number. The number is of those who have received this witness. Emunah. Who has come out of Babylon. Who's not bent the knee to Baal. Or his images. I've got 7,000. Listen. Yahuah has a people. And everybody is not Israel. He says in Romans, the 9th chapter, he says, where are we at? He said, not all Israel. Not as though the word of Yahuah have taken none effect. Romans 9:6. For they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. Because see, even then the Israelites killed the prophets. They were seeking Elias' life. Right? Elias is questioning Yahuah. I'm the only one left. Yahuah says, no, I got a remnant. I got 7,000 right now that has not been the need of Baal. 7,000. I got 7,000 that has not remained in Babylon. I have 7,000 that has come out from among them and been separate. Yeah. They're not lavishing in their sporting events. They're not lavishing in their parties and concerts. They're not lavishing in the things that bring this world entertainment. They've come out from among them. They separated themselves. They are the called out assembly. They're that righteous seed, that righteous plant. They're that righteousness selected from the everlasting plant of righteousness. Right? They haven't served Baal. They won't serve Baal. They're not going to bow the knee to Baal. They're not going to give in. They're not going to roll over. Even so that at this present time, now, at Shaul's time and at our time, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. See, because you have to have received this ministry of reconciliation, this grace, this mercy that comes as a result of this Yeshua, this Yahusha Mashiach, right? Who's brought Yeshua to those who would have emunah in him. It would receive his word, his Torah, and allow that Torah to make them alive. It's grace, this favor that you've received from Yahuah that you could not earn, that you could not keep the Torah, that caused you to be before Yahuah as righteous. You always had to have a high priest. And you always had to have him offering sacrifices. This grace of Yahuah, this grace of Yahuah. It's an election. Didn't I tell you to go lay down? It's an election. It's an election. You have to receive this in emunah. You have to have been chosen by Yahuah. For if by grace, then it is no more of works. It is something that you got to receive in emunah. See, you can't just keep the Torah and establish righteousness, because there's no righteousness in keeping the Torah apart from the sacrificial offering, the atonement of blood. You can't work your way in this. You can't work your way through this. You have to receive this witness in emunah. You have to believe that Yahuah raised Yahusha from the dead. You have to believe that Yahusha is the propitiation. He's the mediator between us and Yahuah. He is the mediator between Yaakov, Yahuah's firstborn, and Yahuah. You have to believe it. You have to receive this in emunah. This grace. Right? For by grace, then, it's no more works. Otherwise, grace is no more grace. If you could work for this, there would be no need for Yahusha. If you could establish this in keeping the Torah, then there would be no need for Yahusha. But you can't do it in the Torah because you don't have a high priest. You don't have a sacrifice. You don't have a tabernacle. You don't have a holies of holies, and you don't have a high priest that can go into the holies of holies. And Yahuah ain't going to meet him in there because Yahuah is not in the temple. You know, the Christian church would lead you to believe that all of these little, these buildings that they have are the temple of Yahuah. You know, our church is the temple of Yahuah. No, temple. Yahuah doesn't dwell in temples made of stone, made by man's hands. His tabernacle is in the hearts of those who receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, have received the Ruach HaKodesh. Yeah, they're not. He's there. That's a temple. Yeah. But he don't care about these buildings. These buildings with these obelisks, with these graven images on the top of them, with these idols on these stained glass windows. We don't care about that. He says, for it is by grace, for if by grace, then it's no more of works. Right? Yeah, you can't just keep the Torah and say that, you know, Yahuwah is pleased with me. Without Yahushua Mashiach's witness, and without the Ruach HaKodesh on the inside of you, you can't keep the Torah. And at the end of the day, if Yahushua Mashiach is on the inside of you, then it's grace through faith. He says, but if it be of works, then it is no more of grace. Otherwise, works is no more work. Otherwise, work is no more work. What then? Yashar'El have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blind. This is going to be a lot of Yashar'El that's going to be blind. We're just not going to accept the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Excuse me, who are not going to be led by the Ruach HaKodesh, that aren't going to be established in emunah. They ain't going to obtain it. They ain't going to receive the election. Because they're blinded. They can't see past Torah. They can't see past the Tanakh. They can't see past Yah only. They can't see Yahusha HaMashiach in the volume of the book. See, because you got to receive it in emunah first in order to receive the witness, the spirit of truth, the Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of wisdom and revelation and the knowledge of him. You got to accept it in emunah first. Then you'll understand that he's a high priest forever after you're Melchizedek, because Yahuwah sworn it. Then you understand that he is seated in heavenly places, like he told Dawid in that was 110th chapter. Dawid, he said, "Sit thou on my right hand till I make thine enemies thy footstool." Yahuwah said it to Yahusha. He said, "Listen, what then? Yashar'El haveth not obtained that which he seeketh for?" Because he's seeking it in Torah. And he's seeking it in sin consciousness. And he's seeking it without having made atonement. You're seeking righteousness in the Torah. You're seeking righteousness without having met the need for atonement. You're seeking your own righteousness. But we who are the elect, the remnant, the selected, to have received this witness. We who have received this witness. We recognize this election. We recognize the importance and the significance of the witness. But you're blind. We walk in this newness of life, but you're still dead man walking. You're dead man walking. You're the walking dead. Because you haven't been quickened. You haven't been made alive in emunah, having received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. You're the walking dead. You're blinded. Can't see. Can't see the truth. According as it is written, Elohiym hath given them the spirit of slumber. You received the ruach of slumber. Right? The Greek word.
Strong's G 2659. Katanuxis.
Katanuxis. It is stupor. You have a stupor, right? A pricking or piercing, a severe sorrow, extreme grief, insensibility, right? Can't sense it, right? You can't put it together. You just can't put two and two together. You just can't understand. It's a stupor. It's inability to understand it. The etymology of that word is
Strong's G 2660. Katanusamai. Katanusamai. Thayer's lexicon. Katanuso. Katanuso.
Pierced through. You've been pierced through. Agitated, right? Get agitated at the truth, right? Hence a spirit of stupor, which renders their soul torpid, so insensible that they are not affected at all by the offers made them through salvation in Hamashiach. Just cause you just to get up and walk away from the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Just cause you to get up and secure yourself in something that you can't even explain. According as is written, Elohiym hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they see not, ears that they should not hear to this day. That's true to this day. And I say to myself, Yahuah, I just wish that they could just see this, receive this in emunah. Understand it for what it is, but Yahuah says, I'm not. They have a ruach that I've put in them of slumber. They ain't gonna see it. They ain't gonna hear it. They're not gonna understand it. And this is what is beautiful about Yahuah, right? Because if you pay attention, right, having received a witness and going forth in his word, right, giving his word out, right, and you come across these people, right, who are a ruach of slumber. They don't hear what you say. They don't see what you say. And you wonder why. You keep pressing and pressing and pressing, trying to get them to be a part of the elect. But they're not. Yahuah has given them a ruach of slumber. They can't receive it. Look at their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back away. Yahuah has an elect. He has a remnant. I have a mandate to preach this witness to those who have an ear to hear. But I understand my audience is a remnant. I preach this Besorah. And I'm going to preach this, so I'm going to go with it wherever Yahuah tells me to go with it. Right? But there's only a remnant that's going to receive this witness. Listen. David said, let their tables be made a snare. I skipped that verse. And a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. Israel. Yahudah. Let their tables be a snare. Let their table be a snare. That word table. Right. Let their table.
Strong's G 5132. Trapeza.
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 It's a table. The table on which food is placed and eating. The table of the temple of Jerusalem on which the consecrated loaves were placed. Right. So the table is symbolic of the eating, and the eating could be attached to the feast, right? Let their feast, right, be a snare. Shavuos be a snare, right? And a trap. We keep the feast days. We gonna keep Pesach. I'm keep unleavened bread and Shavuos. We gonna keep them. A snare. Oh, we the people, because we keep the feast days. A snare. Blinded, stumbling block, eyes that can't see, ears and cannot hear, They can't receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach in order to see, because, you know, they're not a part of the elect, but, you know, they are of Israel. And even though they're of Israel, they're not all of the quickened. Because you got to be a part of the quickened. And not just the awakened. But the quickened, those who receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, you got to be a part of the quickening. Right? Because you gonna have things that are part of the nation that's gonna be a snare to you. You're gonna still believe that, you know, you can participate in the feast days, but you have to have a sacrifice to restore you. You have to have an atonement. But you keep feast days. Right? In your sin. Keep the feast days. How can you keep the feast days and have received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach? Slumber. Yahuwah is giving you a ruach of slumber. You don't see it. You can't receive it. You sleep. You ain't a part of the elect. See, because the elect understands the witness. The elect has an ear to hear. The elect can see. Right? Can see the elect. Right? You have to be a part of the elect. Got to be a part of the elect. Excuse me. Got to be a part of the elect. Right? You got to be part of the witness. But your table's made a snare. It's because he took your Shavuos from you. You can't keep a Shavuot. You can't keep a feast day. You're not righteous. You're not Kodesh. Right? You can't even keep a Shabbat. Because you in sin. You have to be established in righteousness. To keep a Shabbat. To keep the Shavuos. To keep the feast days. Can't keep the feast days without being in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Because you're yet in your sins. How you can be yet in your sins and walk into a holy feast of Yahuwah? He says, and Dawi said, let their table be made a snare and a trap. You trapped. You believe that you can do this thing. You trapped. You believe that you Torah only, Tanakh only, Yah only. You trapped. You believe that Yahusha is the son of Yosef. You trapped. You believe that this renewed covenant, this New Testament, is the result of Constantine and the Roman Catholic Church. You trapped. You snared. Right? You're trapped. Right? It's a stumbling block. And it's a payment unto you. It's a recompense. For your failure to have received the witness, it's your payment. For not having emunah like your father Avraham, who staggered not at the promises of Yahuah through unbelief, but was strong in faith. He gave glory to Eliyahu, being fully persuaded that what Yahuah had promised, he was well able to perform. This has become your snare. Your failure to have emunah in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. He said, let your eyes be darkened that they may not see. And bow down their back away. Bow down your back away. Listen. Has Elohiym casted away his people? Yeah, there's some that are snared. See, Yahuah has those that he's elected from amongst the people. Though you are the sands of the sea, there's yet just a remnant of you. It's going to receive the witness. Haveth Elohiym cast away his people? Elohiym forbid, for I am an Israelite. I am an Israelite. I am a Hebrew. I am an Israelite of Israelites. I am a Hebrew of Hebrew. I am of the tribe of Yahudah. Yashar'El. I'm one stick. I am Yahudah. I am the southern kingdom. But the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom are one stick. Yahuah foreknew me. Elohiym have not cast away his people, which he foreknew. See, because you know, there's people in Yashar'El that he did not foreknow. There's people that are in the Americas and scattered throughout these countries that he did not foreknow. Yeah, they are products of the transatlantic slave trade. Yes, they are Yahudah taken from the lands and taken to the lands of their captivity. But there are some that are in the midst of them that Yahuah foreknew. He put a marker on their DNA, put something in them. And in the fullness of time, it was going to birth forth in them. They're going to be able to draw the connection between the Ruach HaKodesh and Yahusha. They're going to be able to be established in this witness by the Ruach HaKodesh of truth. That Ruach of wisdom and revelation and the knowledge of Yahuah. They're going to be able to understand, right? They're going to be able to understand. They're going to be able to discern. Their eyes aren't going to be closed. Their eyes are going to be enlightened. They're going to have an ear to hear what the Ruach is saying. They're going to be the opposite of those that aren't the elect. They're not going to be snared by the feast days. They're not going to be snared by those things that can be stumbling blocks. Because they have the witness. They're led by the Ruach HaKodesh. See, for as many as are led by the Ruach HaKodesh, these are the sons of Elohiym. Sons of Elohiym, right? Listen. He says, I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? The elect? Those that are called out from among Yisrael, because all Israel is not Israel, but those that are called out, those that have received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, right? Have they stumbled that they should fall utterly away, completely? Yahuah forbid. Right? But rather, through their fall, through their failure, through their rejection. Not all of them. Not all of them. It's remnant that has not fell utterly. Listen, man of Yah, woman of Yah, you need to understand Shaul is referencing the quickened. Those that have been made alive by the Ruach HaKodesh. Those that have the witness of Yahuah and Yahusha. He's talking about them. When he says, have they stumbled that they should fall? Yahuah forbid. But rather their fall, Yeshua, is coming to the other nations for to provoke them to jealousy. You have those that are going to receive the witness. Right? Then you have those who are the Yahudim, they ain't going to receive the witness and going to get mad at the Gentiles because they receive the witness. They ain't going to want to include nobody. Right? They want to be a Yahudim only. Yashar'El only. You know, and it's crazy because, right, when Yahuah created Adam and Ava, he told Adam and Ava to be fruitful and multiply. Put the kibosh down and replenish the earth. Now had they complied, and Hasatan would have never been able to take dominion from them. Everybody on the Eretz would have been walking elves with Yahuah's Ruach established in the earth. Right? Right? Everybody. When Yahuah delivered the children of Yisrael out of Mitzrayim, they came with a mixed multitude. Strangers, Gentiles, Mitzrayimites, Mitzrayim people came with the children of Israel, the army. They came with them out of the nation, and there's other people that Yahuah received. Right? But yet you don't want to let nobody in. Don't like Paul because Paul is a preacher to the Gentiles. All he did was do what Yahuah told him to do. And you are angry, jealous, right? You want to say things like, they just want to give our heritage over to the other nations. What? Other nations will never be Hebrews. They will never been of the nation that received Yahuah's Torah. But Yahuah chose to receive them because they had emunah, to believe his word. But you provoked anger. Provoked jealousy. Right? Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world, right? And the diminishing of them, the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? So, if Yahuah used them to make you jealous, to bring you into this richness. How much more is he going to provide for his people who have received his witness? How much more do I stand to benefit as a Hebrew of Hebrew, as a Yahudim of the tribe of Yashar'El, Yahudah, having received the Ruach HaKodesh, the earnest of my inheritance? How much more? Because we are Yaakov, people called by his name. How much more? Because we're established in the covenants and in the promises and those things that Yahuah has brought through us, the Torah. How much more when I turn to the witness of Yahushua Mashiach? Much more. Their fullness, our fullness. Listen, he says, for I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am an apostle to the Gentiles, I magnify mine office. Yahusha, I'm speaking to you Gentiles. Excuse me. I magnify my office. I'm a Hebrew, tribe of Benjamin, called from among my people who have a richness in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, who are going to receive a fullness in this inheritance because they've turned and because they've been elected and because Yahuah has selected them from a plant. He said, listen, if by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh, my brethren, right? I want to provoke them to be like me, right? Let's look at that word emulation in the Greek.
Strong's G 3863. Paradzelao.
Paradzelao. It means to provoke to jealousy, or to rivalry, to provoke to anger. But, you know, there's a provocation that you may want to elicit that has nothing to do with anger. You just might want to motivate somebody, provoke somebody to do like you do, to be like Yahushua HaMashiach. He says, by any means I might provoke to emulation them which are of the Yahudim, and might save some of them. See, this preaching of the witness to my brethren is my desire, to see those that Yahuah have chosen from amongst the nation receive this witness. My desire is that the people who receive these witnesses, these YouTubes, these messages that Yahusha has given me to preach to them, that they would, right, be saved. That they may experience the Yeshua, to walk in the fullness of the witness, to experience that which Yahuah has made for them, made available for them. Right? Right? He says, by any means I may provoke them to emulate. Emulate. Let's look at the let me see if I can, let's get the definition of the word emulate. I think it's the copy. To emulate. Effort to match or surpass a person or achievement, typically by imitation. Somebody to imitate me. I want somebody to emulate me. Not for me, but I want them to emulate that which Yahusha has given to me in this Basora and witness and emulate it. Receiving the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, the word that come forth in these YouTubes in the Basora, and emulate them. I want a reproduction. A reproduction. Like I am a reproduction of a Mashiach, or at least I strive to be a emulation of a Mashiach. It's witness. Emulation. I want my brothers to emulate me. Imitate me. In the hopes that some of them may receive this Yeshua. That some of them may be established in this witness. That some of them may understand the value and the necessity of the Ruach HaKodesh. He says, listen. For if the casting away of them be the reconciliation of the world, what shall the receiving of them be but the life from the dead? So listen, if Yahuah casts us away in order to bring others to this Yeshua, right? He cast away his chosen, that he might bring others that are not of the chosen, right? What's he gonna do for those that are the chosen? That received this witness. What is he going to do for Yaakov Yahudah got all of the tribe of Yahudah? A Hebrew of Hebrew. What's he going to do for me? Because I received this witness. Yes, they're going to be brethren. There's going to be Hebrews that's going to rebel and going to be blinded and they're going what is it? They're going to be blinded. They're going to be, where is that one I'm looking for? They're going to be blinded. They're going to be under a slumber, right? They're going to be a stumbling block. They're going to be a trap, a snare, right? So that the Gentiles may receive this Yeshua and emunah, but what about me? Because I received this witness. In emunah, I received the Ruach HaKodesh. I've been established in this witness. How about me? He said, for the casting away of them be the reconciliation of the world. Yahusha, emunah, the reconciliation of the world. Now listen, the reconciliation of the world don't mean everybody in the world going to be reconciled. It just means that there are diversities of nations in the world and peoples that in the world are going to receive this witness. And emunah, and that witness in emunah is going to establish them. Right? Well, what shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead? If you're going to do that for them, it's going to be resurrection, life from the dead for us. Right? For if the first fruits be holy, first fruits, Yahudah, right? The lump is also holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. If we're in Yahushua HaMashiach and he's the branch, he's the vine, we're the branches, we're holy. We're the branches. We are the righteous, selected from the branches of right, the branch of righteousness. We're the first fruits, because we were first. Yahuwah came to us first. We're the first fruits. Paul was the first fruit because he was a Yahudim, having received the witness, right? Amongst the brethren. You know, it was Hebrews that didn't receive the witness. But there was thousands that did, right? The first fruit be holy because they received the witness. The lump is also holy. Right, because if the fruits are holy, they come as a result of the branches, right? Excuse me. The root is holy, so are the branches. Everything that's in Yahushua HaMashiach is holy. The first fruits, the Yahudim, are holy. That receive the witness, right? Not those that he's used to provoke the Gentiles, but the righteous ones who include the Gentiles and who are established in this witness are first fruits, right? And if some of the branches be broken off, right, because they're coming off, he was going to cut them off. He said he's going to purge the branches. He says there are some branches, if they don't produce fruit, they come off, right? He says, and if some of the branches be broken off, and thou, being a wild olive tree, were grafted in among them, and with them partakers of the root and fatness of the olive tree, right? Because Yahuwah who has allowed the nation of Yashar'El and those that are the stumbling block and the snared, those that those that are slumbering with their eyes and they can't hear with their ears, right? Those whose feast days have become a snare, a trap, and a stumbling block, right? Those that Yahuwah has darkened their eyes, right? That are bowed down their back away. They have made it possible for you because they cut off. They don't receive witness, they cut off. But you, a wild olive, right? Because you wild, right? Olive branch, right? He says, if of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree, right, were grafted in, right, among them, and with them partakest of the root and fatness of the olive tree. Because you benefiting from Yahushua HaMashiach. You're a wild olive branch. But you have been sliced, and your sliced part is sliced and spliced into the vine and wrapped to the point where eventually that is going to be apart, because you're going to draw from the vine, Yahushua HaMashiach, right? He says now, he says, boast not against the branch. And don't don't get to a place where you boast against the branches. What does it mean to boast? Right? Let's look at that Greek word for boast. That word boast is
Strong's G 2620. Katakahame.
Katakahame. It means to glory against, to exalt over, to boast oneself to the injury of a person or thing. Don't go to boasting, right? Don't go to exalting yourself, right, over Yaakov. Yes, you're grafted in, but don't boast yourself over Yaakov, right? Don't boast over Yaakov, right? He said, listen, boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Don't boast in and over the branches, because you bear your strength from the root, right? Yahusha is the reason why you are even a part of the tree, the branch. Hey, cut it out. Go lay down. I don't care. Right? So the idea is, and if some of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree wert grafted among them, right? And with them partake of the root and the fatness of the olive tree. Listen, don't boast against them, right? But if the boast thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Yahush is the reason why you in. It's the reason why you in. Excuse me a second. You can't boast against the branches. You are there because of the root. Because of what Yahushua HaMashiach has provided for you in Yeshua. Right? They're still his elect. Right? And if they're in the vine, right, they're where they're supposed to be. In the branch. You can't get to the place where you start to feel like you're better than the other branches. Now, as the branches that aren't cut off, we can't treat those that have been grafted in as less than. We all get our strength from the root, Yahushua HaMashiach. And Yahuah is the husbandman. He's going to prune that which needs to be pruned. Listen. He says, and if some of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree grafted in among them, and with them partake of the root and the fatness of the olive tree, don't boast against the branches. Don't boast against the branches. But if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Right? Thou wilt say then, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off. Right? And thou standest by emunah. Listen. Yeah, they were broken off. Right? And yeah, you have an opportunity to partake in this Yeshua. Right? Right? You do. Right? Through Yahushua HaMashiach, you were given an opportunity. But listen, it was because of their unbelief that they were broken off. And you were grafted in. Right? Can't boast against the branches. You have to come in and be grateful that you're in. He said, listen, boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, right? Right? You don't bear the root. You're grafted in. You don't bear the root, right? But the root thee, right? Yahusha, right? Thou wilt say then the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. Yes, right? Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off. Right? And thou standest by emunah because you believe. Right? Be not high-minded, but fearful. So he's saying here, listen. Don't be high-minded. That word in the Greek is
Strong's G 5309. Hupse la franeo.
Okay, that's a long one.
Hupse la franeo.
And I'm not going to say that one, right? But it means to be high-minded and proud. Right? Right? Don't be arrogant. Don't be arrogant against Yaakov. Don't be arrogant against Yahudah. Right? You're grafted in, right? And that's a privilege to be grafted in, right? And those that are in the branches, right, are the elect, according to Yahuah. They've received the witness. They are part of the election, right? They're not cut off. They're in the vine. Right? Don't be arrogant. Right? Because it's the root, Yahushua HaMashiach, that granted you privilege. And don't be high-minded. Right? Don't boast. Thou wilt say, then the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief they were broken off, and thou standest by emunah. You stand by emunah, right? You stand because of emunah. Be not high-minded, arrogant, proud, right? But be fearful, or be feared, but be feared, right? Understand that Yahuah gave you an opportunity. Don't take the opportunity to be a part of the grafting in and become arrogant, become high-minded. For if Elohiym spared not the natural branches, cut them off. Listen, the natural branches went into captivity. The natural branches went into captivity because of their disobedience, right? And if Yahuah didn't spare the natural branches, cut them off, gather them up to be burned, take heed, lest he also not spare thee. And don't get so arrogant. Don't get so high-minded. Let Yahuah judge you for your arrogancy. Because it's Yahushua Hamashiach. You got to fear and reverence. Yahuah didn't spare our ancestors. Our ancestors went into captivity and suffered at the hands of the other nations because of our disobedience, because of how we thought, how we acted, how we responded. Don't you fall into that trap, right? He says, for behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of Elohiym on them that fell, severity. Those who didn't receive the witness, severity. Cut off, right? But towards thee goodness, if thou continue in his goodness. So Yahuah gonna continue to bless and anoint you and keep you as long as you understand to what degree Yeshua has been provided for you, right? Otherwise, thou also shalt be cut off, just like we were cut off. Because of how we received the witness, because of how we handled the witness. How come we failed to handle the witness, actually? Because we didn't handle the witness. We didn't handle the Torah. We didn't do what we were supposed to do. And because we didn't, we got severity. We got captivity. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. Listen, the nation is coming in if they believe in emunah. For Elohiym is able to graft them in again. Yahuah is able to graft them in again. Right? He says here, the children of Yashar'El is and will always be Yahuwah's people. The children of Yashar'El and Yahudah will always be Yahuwah's people. Those who have received the witness are his people. Those who have been sealed are his people. They will always be his people. They are his elect, right? For if thou wert cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted in contrary to nature into a good olive tree, right? How much more shall these, which be the natural, be grafted into their own olive tree? So, I mean, if Yisrael comes back into the vine and are grafted in, they're natural. What's natural? That means that they were given Torah. They have the covenants. They have circumcision. They have all that which is the natural, right? The natural elements that cause their relationship with Yahuah, right? Your relationship is built upon an emunah and of a ruach of spirit that cause you to be grafted into the vine, right? You a wild olive branch. You had no Torah. You had no anything. You had L's. You had ways of doing. Made you wild compared to the olives that were cut off. They weren't wild. They were just reckless and disobedient. They were of the natural branch, right? They were Hebrews. Right, so and they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for Elohiym is able to graft them in again, right? For if thou wert cut out of an olive tree, which is wild by nature, right, Gentiles, and wert grafted into nature unto a good olive tree, the nation of Israel, right? How much more shall these that are natural, Hebrew, Israel, right, branches be grafted into their own tree, right? He says, for I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own conceit, that blindness in part has happened to Yashar'El until the fullness of the Gentiles become in. Till the fullness of the Gentiles become in. Blindness. Gentiles. Fullness. We understand that blindness in part has happened to the nation so that the Gentiles could come in. The other nations who received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. And I'm not talking about Christianity, and I'm not talking about Jesus and the Lord, because that's not this. That's not this. That's Constantine. That's Sunday service. That's Sunday worship. That's paganism. That's idolatry mixed into Christianity. That's not this. That's not this. Yahushua HaMashiach and the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach is not what he's talking about. He's talking about the witness of Yahusha, right? For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery. What's the mystery? That Yahuah has allowed for the hardness of Israel in order to bring in the Gentiles, right? Lest ye should be wise in your own conceit. Don't get conceited. Don't get puffed up. Don't get arrogant, right? That blindness in part has happened to Yashar'El unto the fullness of the Gentiles. Yahuah has a time allotted for the fullness of the Gentiles. Till they come in. Come into what? Come into this witness. And so all Yashar'El shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Yaakov. He says, for all Yashar'El shall be saved. Right? All of Yashar'El. All Yashar'El that received the witness shall be saved. All Yashar'El that Yahuah has appointed, has chosen, that is the elect of the nation. Listen, he ain't talking about these wicked Israelites. He ain't saving these wicked Israelites. He's not saving these wicked Israelites, just like he ain't saving the wicked of the other nation. There is an elect of the nation of Yashar'El that still has to be gathered, or that has to receive the witness in order to be gathered, right? I would not have you ignorant. This is the mystery. Cut it out! This is the mystery. This is the mystery. Lest ye should be wise in your own conceit. Right? And the blindness in part has happened to Yisrael until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. And so all of Yashar'El shall be saved. Listen, he's not talking about the entire nation. He's talking about those of you who is chosen from amongst the nation, the elect. He's not saving wicked Gentiles. I mean, wicked Hebrews. They're going to be pounded into powder. They're going to be purged. But he's got a remnant that is of Yisrael that is going to be saved. He says, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, Yahusha HaMashiach, and shall turn away ungodliness from Yaakov. He is coming to restore the order. Yahusha. And he is gathering his people. He's going to turn away the ungodliness. He is going to purge the remnant. He's going to purge from the remnants the rebels. See how much more we're going to go. We might get ready to stop here. I think we might. He says, verse 27, for this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sin, right? As concerning the Besorah, they are enemies for my sake, right? Ooh, the Yahudim, because they don't receive the witness, right? But as touching the election, or those who have received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, they are the beloved for the Father's sake. That's who Yahuah is going to save, that are all Israel. Because we've read that not all Israel is Israel. Right? Yes, it was speaking about the sons of Ishmael, Hagar, and Keturah, and his sons there, but it was dual. It was also talking about those that are of the promise. And the promise is the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. That is the fulfillment of the promise. Yahusha is the fulfillment of the promise. He has established the dominion forever. He says, and this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. He's taken away the sins of his people through Yahushua Mashiach's witness. Zion's deliverer has come in Yaakov. Zion, Yahusha, is the deliverer that has come in the nation, right? that has turned away ungodliness from Jacob. Right? Right? He says, and this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. He says, concerning the Basora, they are enemies. Who are enemies? Those who don't receive the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, right? For your sake, Gentiles, they are enemies because they have not received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. But you Gentiles have received the witness and are therefore grafted in as wild branches into the tree you are in, right? But as touching the election, those who are in the vine that are selected from the plant of righteousness, Yaakov, Yahudah, those who have received the witness, they are the beloved of the Father. I'm beloved of Yahuah. I am the beloved of Yahuah, right? I am the beloved of Yahuah for the Father's sake, for the gifts and the calling of Yahuah without repentance. Yahuah gave promise to the fathers of our father Avraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob. I am of the tribe of Yahudah, of my father Yaakov, of whom Yahuah said he was giving his Shavahos, upon whom Yahuah said is his firstborn, upon whom Yahuah said he has written them down in the Shamayim. Listen, Yahusha ain't repenting of the promise he had made. He still have an elect. I am the elect of Yahuah because I've received the witness in Emunah. I've received his Ruach HaKodesh, the earnest of my inheritance. He has established me in this family, in this kingdom, right? As many as received him, to them gave he power to be the sons of Elohiym, even them to believe on his name. Listen, it's because I've received the witness. I'm beloved. I'm the beloved. I'm not cut off from the branch. I'm in the branch. I am in the branch. I am a good olive. I'm not a wild olive. So the gifts and the callings of Yahuah are repentance. Yahuah did repent of my calling or of the gifts that he gave me. Right? Right? He says here, he says, for as ye in times past have not believed the Lord, yet have now obtained mercy through their unbelief. You didn't believe Yahuah. But because Yahuah sent Shaul to the Gentiles, right? Because he was going to reach the Gentiles as well, because the Yahudim wasn't receiving them, wasn't accepting. He said, listen, he says, as for ye in times past, ye have not believed Yahuah. You didn't believe in Yahuah or Yahusha, yet have now obtained mercy through their unbelief, because the Basora was preached to you. He said, even so have these also now not believed. So they taking your place, that through your mercy they also may obtain mercy. Because he showed you mercy, he definitely gonna show his people mercy who receive the witness. Now listen, the mercy is in those that receive the witness. The mercy ain't for the unbelieving, wicked Hebrews. It's for the Hebrews that receive the mercy after the Gentiles are in. Gentiles are going to be in, and you're going to have Yahudim. They're going to come as a result of the witness. The Gentiles who receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach are going to come in. And you're going to still have Hebrews. They're going to come and receive the witness after the Gentiles receive the witness. And they're going to still be the beloved of Yahuah because they are of the seed. They are Yaakov. They're Yahuah's firstborn. They're the first fruits. Even so have these also now not believed, that through your mercy they also may obtain mercy. Right? Yahuah gonna have mercy on them, so he gonna have mercy on you. For Elohiym hath concluded them all in unbelief, that he might have mercy upon all. So Yahuah, everybody is unbelief until they receive the witness. And when they receive the witness, they receive the blessings. When they receive the witness, they receive the inheritance. When they receive the witness, they receive the Ruach HaKodesh. They become sons and daughters. They have his Ruach. He says, oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and the knowledge of Elohiym, right? How unsearchable are his judgments, and his ways are past finding out. Listen, Yahuah's ways are past finding out, right? Right? You who are people who are not a people, but you are now a people now, right? You who didn't know Yahuah now know Yahuah. But because you now know Yahuah, Yahuah can be merciful on the people of Yahuah that don't know him now, that will know him. Yahuah's ways are past finding out, apart from the Ruach HaKodesh, because he reveals it unto you. And you receive him in emunah. He said, listen. He says, for who have known the mind of Adonai, or who have been his counselor, right? Who really has known the mind of Yahuah? Who's been his counselor? He says, but listen. Or who hath first given to him, and it shall be recompensed unto him again, right? Right? Question, right? He said, but this is the answer. For of him, and through him, and to him are all things, and to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen. So listen, the bottom line is that, listen, it's all about what Yahuah wants to do concerning what Yahuah thinks. Yahuah is going to do what he's going to do for the Gentiles and the Yahudim. Nah, Yahuah haven't cast away his people. Yeah, but he has allowed those who have not received him to be in a stupor. Right? Some of them will not come to Yahuah. Some of them are cut off, and they're cut off permanently. Right? But then you have some that aren't cut off permanently that's going to be attached to that vine, that's going to receive that witness. And then are the natural branches. Right? Yeah, the Gentiles is a wild olive branch, but they can be grafted in because they're going to all partake in the same root. Right? Does that mean the Gentiles got a right to boast? No. Do the Gentiles have a right to be arrogant? No. Because Yahuah still got a firstborn. And his firstborn is Yaakov. And when Yaakov come back, they're going to be like the branch because they're not a wild olive branch. They are the olive branch. Yahuah is not slack concerning his promises. If Yahuah said he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And that's just the way Yahuah is. That's what Yahusha said. Yahusha said, I got sheep that are not of this flow. If Yahuah said he got sheep that are not of his fold, them too must he bring. He going to bring them in, right? And if he going to cut you off, he going to allow you to be cut off in order to bring them in. He going to do what he need to do because everybody's got to be attached to the vine. Oh, man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen, that's all we got. We, the people of the book broadcast, is gone down. Listen, Yahuah hasn't casted away his people. Yahuah have those that are of the elect of the nation of Yashar'El, right? He has an elect. Not all Israel is Israel. Not all Israel is going to be saved. Only those that are of the elect, not the circumcision in the flesh, but the elect who have received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach that are established in him by the Ruach HaKodesh. These are his elect. This is Yisrael that will be saved. This is all of Yisrael is going to be saved. Those who are of the elect. Man of Yah, woman of Yah. That's it. We the people of the book broadcast again has gone down. You got to receive his witness. You got to be established in this emunah. You got to understand what Yahuah is saying to the assemblies. Yahuah, I pray right now in the name of Yahusha Mashiach on this Shabbat that your word has gone forth. I pray that it's gone forth and has not returned unto you void. I pray right now that in the name of Yahusha Mashiach that the words that I've spoken would not cause anyone to stumble, to come up lame, and to cause anyone to be turned out of the way. Yahuah, your word is life, it's peace, it's medicine. Yahuah, I pray that on this Shabbat, your word would do that which you have sent it forth to do, establishing those who have an ear to hear, eyes to see. Yahuah, that it would make alive those who have emunah in this election, in this witness. I pray it in the name of Yahusha Mashiach. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Hallelujah. Man of Yah, woman of Yah. That's it. That's all we have. We standing in the word. We standing in and on the word of Yahuah and on the Besorah and the Torah of truth. We declare Yahuah's word. We declare Yahuah's word to be true. And every man, every devil, a liar. Every man, every devil, a liar. We trust in Yahuah's Besorah and his Torah truth.
Right now, get up to $120.
I don't want to hear all of that. You know, I use my TV to get me my music. So we're going out with this one. Sorrow. Yashar'El, you need to wake up. Yahuah has a people. And you want to be a part of his elect.
You need to repent, go watch the news. All of the prophecy coming true. He sent his son to die for you.
Listen.
Follow his steps, you make it through.
Hezekiah's song is entitled Sorrow. I don't own the rights to this music. We're going out with this one. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness. Woman of Yahuah, beautifully and wonderfully made. Listen, today Yahuah favors you. Rest in Yahuah's Shabbat. Be led by his Ruach HaKodesh. And be established in the root. Having received his Ruach HaKodesh, his witness, the water and the blood. You must be born again. With that, I say, listen. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Be blessed.
Torah guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah nation.